Happy Tuesday. I hope everybody had a good weekend. And if you are watching and you are not subscribed, please do so that you can participate. And also, we are going to be live tomorrow on my second channel, Psychic Bow Love Podcast. The link is in the chat. Make sure you subscribe. We're going to give Carlos the birthday that she deserves. And we will be doing it through StreamYard. So there will also be a link if you guys want to call in and add your birthday wishes to her. So make sure you're subscribed over there to participate in that. And then when I do set up the live link later, I will also post it on my stories here as well, and of course my Instagram stories. And you can always find me on Instagram.com/psychicbellalove. Make sure it's the account that has over 100,000 followers, and the current picture is a heart of me and Kanye together, since Carlos wanted to report my page last week. So hey Ronette, hi Tamra, hi Ashley, hi Rena, hi Donna. I'm glad you guys could make it, and shout out to the replay crew. Also, just a quick reminder, I do not take requests for any kinds of videos over here on YouTube. That is a patreon.com/psychicbellalove exclusive. Make sure if you do head over and want to sign up that you read what each tier includes. So, hey Shawnetta, hi Ronnie, how are you guys? And also, we will be doing another Nicki Minaj live this Saturday over in Patreon. So if you are not subscribed and you want to participate and you only want access to the Nicki Minaj content, there is a $3 Barb's tier that you can join so that you can be over there with us and participate. So when we do get to the Drake topic, we're not going to answer anything that has to do with any possible, issues with Nicki. That will be discussed in Patreon on Saturday. So, yes, I'm glad that you caught it. And if you are a Barb, drop a unicorn in the chat. Or if you are on the replay crew, in the comment section. Hi, Yvonne. How are you? Or Irene, I'm sorry. I read that too quickly. Hi, Riz. How are you? And then, of course, we'll be back to our regular YouTube lives on Thursday. So I'm going to be live 4 times this week on the various platforms. So, and also, I am a free Palestine person. I believe that Palestine deserves its freedom. I feel sorry, and my heart goes out to every single civilian who is a part of the casualties on both sides. But I do not support Israel, and if y'all got a problem with it, you can unsubscribe. I'm not going to go back and forth, but I know that, a couple people sent me some lovely DMs being like, F you, and I'm not watching your channel anymore, and all this stuff. It's like, good riddance. I don't care. Because I actually really read up on history and real history, not just what biased media wants to tell us. So that's what I base my views and my opinions and where I stand with things. But I always tell everybody, and people know, especially if you're my Patreon too, you don't have to believe everything that I say either. I'm there to point you in the right direction and give you something to think about. But I always tell everybody, do your own research and make up your own minds. We are not in a time where we can be lazy and just take anybody's word at it, whether it's the Shade Room or TMZ or Fox News or CNN or whoever. It's really important that we research every single side of something and then come to our own conclusion based off of what our own intuition and our own moral compass and our own discernment tells us. So Yeah, I mean, there's in any situation like this, whether it's Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan, you know, all of the different things that have happened in any situation, there's always going to be innocent victims, and those are the people that I'm always going to first and foremost feel sorry for. But a lot of times the so-called allies are not really working in anybody's best interest, or they don't plan ahead, and then, you know, our involvement as the US government ends up causing more problems in the long run. I mean, look what happened to Iraq. They toppled the government and didn't supply them with any kind of structure or help them really truly rebuild anything. And that just opened up the door for Daesh and ISIS and other terror groups to end up taking over. Same thing happened in Afghanistan. It's like we go and make things worse more than we make it better in recent times. And not that, you know, like anybody should be in a country under a dictator, but at the same time, like, you can't go wipe out the dictator and then leave people alone and think that, like, okay, well, you guys will figure it out. Like, doesn't work that way. So, and I will always love and support my Muslim brothers and sisters. Do not claim to be any religion. I am a spiritual person, but I have studied Islam, and it is not at all what people purport it to be. It is peace. It is love. It is equality. It's a much nicer book to read than the Bible, to be honest with you. If you want to read the Quran versus the Bible, you know, the Bible's kind of a horror story for most of it, whereas the Quran is like, let's love each other. These are the things we shouldn't be doing. Like, it's an easier read too. So, I know. Well, I mean, the United States had a part in helping to establish Israel in the first place. So, you know, just because we call another country our ally doesn't mean that they are the best country or the best area. So, and I hope I'm saying this right. Hello to Elijah as well. And Heidi, I'm glad you could make it. I'm glad you made it, Teddy. So, and it's just, you know, there's a lot of complicated stuff too that goes on, you know, in foreign policy stuff regardless. But it's always the poor civilians who are just, you know, trying to live their lives and raise their kids and put dinner on the table and keep a roof over their head that ends up being caught in the middle and suffering the most. So that's who I'm supporting, you know, is Palestine. But overall, my heart, my thoughts, my prayers go to every single civilian, regardless of which side that they're in, because, you know, as much as stuff is shitty here in the United States is not the way that, like, all the propaganda made it seem to be when I was growing up. At the same time, you know, we have been extremely fortunate that we don't have a war going on in our backyards to the extent that people, you know, in the Ukraine and over there are now having to deal with. So, hey, Portia, I'm glad you could make it. And of course, it will always be free Tory all day, every day over here as well. And on top of it, you guys, guess what? Hey, Black Charlie, we figured out Onika is the only girl of all the kittens. So she just keeps living up to her name more and more every day because she runs the boys. Like, she literally this morning at breakfast was jumping on all of them and pushing them out of the way and trying to steal everybody's food. So she's just hilarious. She's so tiny compared to the rest of them too, but So now Faith is just, instead of being Faith Michaela Jackson, she's just Michael Jackson now, and it's a he. And Tori is the other black kitty that's all black. He's a boy. He's so sweet too. Him and Tyler like to shove each other over and see who can get the most pets. So the kitties are getting big though, guys. And thank you to my Patreons because they are helping us keep them fed. So anyways, did you guys listen to Doja's album? I completely forgot that it even came out. I was not planning on listening to it because I just don't be doing all that like demonic stuff. You know, as much as I might have liked her music in the past, now I'm just like, well, we're not listening to you anymore because that's not the energy that I want to entertain. I haven't watched any of her music videos that she's dropped. Obviously there's been people using parts of the songs, as the sounds for reels and things like that. So it's like I haven't been able to completely escape hearing any of the songs, but I have not sat down and listened to them, nor do I plan on it. So yeah, I think it was last week, Ronnie, and people are saying that she only got 4,000 pre-sales, or pure sales. Sorry, I was thinking of Nicki getting pre-sales. Pure sales on the album, and I guess it didn't do that great despite, the singles that she had dropped to support the album being at the top of the charts. Well, that's the thing, you guys. Let me just tell you something real quick before we get further into any of this. Just like mirrors and windows can be portals and so can doors, the TV is too. There's a reason why it's called television programming, and it's to program you. So like, for instance, when you're watching a news program on CNN, and they're trying obviously to push like the liberal point of view when they're reporting any stories, it's because, it's an effort to program you to have the liberal mindset and to just believe, not only like on a conscious level, but on a deeper subconscious level, oh, yeah, Biden's the good guy, Trump's the enemy, or whatever story it is. So when you watch scary movies, you're opening up a portal for that stuff to come into your space and to affect you and your home energetically. I mean, that's why a lot of times people will say, like, they watched a movie like The Conjuring and then they started seeing spirits or having weird shit happen in their house because they opened the door energetically to that stuff. And remember, everything in the universe is energy. So whatever we entertain, we're telling the universe that's the kind of energy that I like and attracting that back. That's why, like, if you wake up grumpy and then you kind of just start fighting yourself, having a bad day if you didn't turn that energy around, everywhere you go, it's like somebody slammed the door in my face, my coworker pissed me off, I tripped and busted my knee or whatever, and it's like the series of bad things that starts happening all day. Whereas you notice, like, if you wake up and you feel like, damn, I look good, my booty looks good today, these jeans are cute, I feel good about myself. Like, when you go out in the world, you're seeing like, oh, everybody is a little bit nicer to me. People are paying compliments to me. It's not because everybody's saying like, oh my God, yes, you're having the best ass day and your butt looks amazing. It's because you're exuding the energy of I feel good, so people feel good and attracted to that by being around you. That works for everything in life. That's why I always tell people too, if you're trying to manifest stuff, you can't be full of doubt. Nothing wants to go to a funeral, but it wants to go to a party. So you want to do things with love and excitement. And if you are not in that energetic space, that's not the time for you to do work. You want to fix your attitude and then do the work, and then you'll see a better result come from it. So, you know, there's plenty of people too that I have seen recently, like people that were writers on some of these shows and movies that said, you know, they're writing like the parts of, like, say, witches. And it's like, we didn't know anything about witchcraft, so we went and Googled spells and just had the people repeating them, not even knowing what kind of a spell is this, what is it going to summon, whatever. So not only then do the people that are acting the part now are inadvertently, like, you know, doing a ritual that they may not understand what the hell that they're participating in, but us as watching, that ritual is happening to us. So I don't watch any of that kind of stuff. I mean, I barely watch TV and movies anyways, but I really don't entertain that kind of stuff on purpose, because I'm trying to protect myself, my home, my energy. So that's why, you know, when I notice that there's like artists like Lil Uzi, Lil Nas X, you know, Doja, that want to be like super in your face with like satanic shit, I'm not inviting that into my life. I'm not going to entertain your music and risk that, you know, you're putting some spells in the songs that you're making, and then I'm inadvertently like giving my energy to whatever demon you're letting possess you, or negative dark spirit that you're working with to try to obtain your success or make certain things happen for your career, because that's just not okay with me. So that's why we have to be very careful, you know, and there is a real reason too, like, you know, where they say that whole saying, curiosity killed the cat. You know, I'm not gonna be like, I admit that I am a nosy bitch and I am petty too on top of it. However, my nosiness has to have a boundary, right? And so, yeah, I'm not gonna go just out of curiosity, go watch stuff just because I want to see, is it really as bad as everybody's saying, or I want to listen and see what people are saying about it. You're still opening that door, and it's just not worth it. So, and you know, the other thing is too, like, SZA is somebody else that you shouldn't be listening to. She's trying to hypnotize people with her music. There's a reason why she sings the way she does, has her beats in a certain way. And that's the other thing too. They create the beats on a certain way so that it opens up your energy to accept whatever low vibrational things that they're saying to you. There's a reason why the hooks, the chorus, you know, we repeat things in songs the same way that when you're doing a ritual, you're going to repeat certain phrases to inhabit that energy, to bring it down into your life, to make it a reality. So, you know, I mean, you can tell like how you feel listening to certain music too. It works for all of it, good or bad, you know, but that's why it's like, I don't want to listen to the bad stuff. No, I didn't see that. Was that where she was stomping around in that pink outfit? And people kept saying like she doesn't have a single song that like requires any of that. But yeah, I mean, a lot of artists spellcast in their music, so that's why it's more important than ever, because they're getting more and more blatant with it, that we need to be careful, you know, about who we're willing to listen to and give our time and energy and attention to. And just, you know, also at the end of the month is Halloween. They love to take advantage of Halloween to show their alliance to their favorite demons and spirits and all of that. So, you know, like I always say, they have all the access in the freaking world to get, you know, people to create custom costumes for you if you really want to participate in Halloween, you know, and special effects makeup artists and buy all kinds of wigs and everything like that. Why does everybody choose to constantly you know, dress up like demons and negative spirits? It's for a reason, because it's their holiday. They're celebrating those spirits. They're dressing like them for a purpose. So pay attention, you know, to who you see dressing up in certain ways. That'll give you a clue. Okay, I'm not supporting listening to them anymore. They chose to dress up like the devil this year. So, I mean, every single person that's in the industry is a Satan worshiper. That's what the Illuminati is, being a Freemason. They're Satan worshipers. If you know who they are, they're in. There's no, oh, like, they didn't or this or that. No, they did. Why do you think everybody in Hollywood throws up the same gang signs? When did Hollywood become a gang? Why is everybody in Hollywood in the same gang? Why do even people that, you know, you wouldn't expect, like Tom Cruise throwing up the Rock Nation diamond symbol, you know, because they're all worshiping the same Lucifer and the same demons and all of that. That's what that is. When they throw up, you know, cover the eye, when they're throwing up the 3 fingers or the 6s or whatever. I don't even want to do it to show you guys what it looks like. Because again, I don't want to accidentally summon nothing or put my energy in that space, but y'all know what I'm talking about. They can play it off like, oh, it's for Compton, or it's, I'm shouting out this or that area. No, boo-boo. Some of us are woke and we see right through that shit. But if you want to know more about that stuff, go to psychicbellalove.com, or not psychicbellalove.com. Well, you can go to psychicbellalove.com and book a reading and use code Bella for 45% off until Saturday to celebrate my birthday. But go to patreon.com/psychicbellalove. And we've got almost 6,000 posts in there. So there is a lot that I have broken down, and that's where I'm more like open about my own personal stuff over there too. So thank you, Lindsay. I'm always trying to remember links and trying to make sure I say everything, and then I get them all mixed up when it comes time to actually say it. So you don't understand why she canceled the other day. She always sounds like shit. Oh my God. I've never, like, obviously gone to a SZA concert, and I just don't I've never been into her. She just honestly has always annoyed the absolute crap out of me for some reason. But I saw so many people saying that like she's not good in concert and she doesn't sound very good. So live, and I was like, oh, that's not good. You can't be high vibrational in Hollywood. The same people who think you can think Erykah Badu is high vibrational. Yeah. I mean, Hollywood's just full of a bunch of sheep in wolves clothing, you know, and then they run around talking about God. They're not talking about the God we serve. Trust and believe that. When Beyonce wants to get up on stage and get another award that she, you know, somebody else probably deserved more and she just got because she's Beyonce and she's thanking God for it, it's not my God. SZA seems like she's shady as heck. Yeah. Well, Taylor Swift was doing rituals on stage in her little tour that she just did too. I remember when she helped her astrologer scam people. Wait, what happened? See, I don't pay attention to SZA, so apparently I missed this. She had an astrologer and they scammed people. She sings in cursive. Drake told AK not to talk about her, but yeah, well, we're going to talk about any of the Nicki stuff. We're not going to talk about the Drake and Nicki stuff today, you guys. That will be in Patreon, because remember, Spirit has said that since everybody's so stuck on stalking Nicki and trying to find any way that they can to reignite the hate train or ruin her rollout, we're not going to help them out with that, because you know, I know it sounds crazy and some people think I'm stupid for saying this, but Carlos will sit and pick fights with people on Twitter that have 0 followers and just made their account today. So do you really think that because she's doing that and searching her and Nicki's name all day long, that she's not doing the same thing on YouTube and Instagram and seeing what people are saying? She is. Carlos, does spell work and goes to witches and gets readings constantly her own self. So, of course, she's watching all the psychics on YouTube and seeing what we're saying that Nicki's next rollout is going to be. And I know that Carlos knows who I am, too. So, we're not going to help her out in her little hate campaign. But we will be having a birthday party for her tomorrow on the second channel. So the link is on the pinned comment at the top. Make sure you guys subscribe so you can participate. I'm going to do it through StreamYard. So you guys can call in and wish her a happy, happy birthday yourselves. So yeah, Carlos is a next level stalker. I guarantee you that if any single one of you made a YouTube channel tomorrow and said you were going to do tarot readings on Nicki, she would watch your channel too. It wouldn't matter if you didn't have any subscribers. She would find you and watch you. Well, I was like, this is why, like, I hate that, like, Watto remixed the Waka Flocka song, because I was gonna say it's a party, but I was like, now she ruined that. Isn't that the worst too, though? Like, just before we get into like Doja, isn't that the worst though when you have like people like her or any of the other never gonna go anywhere, just stuck at mid-level and then gonna fizzle out new girls that are either have crap personalities or absolutely no talent, or the both, when they're, because they're on this whole sample run right now. And I'm just like, oh my God, Lotto, please don't ruin any more songs that I liked by remixing them. Because now I actually like Waka Flocka. I've seen him in concert. He's actually, if you want to see somebody who's a good ass performer and puts on a damn show, Waka Flocka Flame will do that shit for you. I'm not kidding. I saw him at this festival that they do in the Central Valley in California. Me and my friends went. Dude, he was like getting off the stage and like jumping down and dancing with all of us and rapping in everybody's faces. Like, he interacts with you. He puts on a damn show. He was the best performer out of every single person that performed there. And now I can't even remember any of the other acts that we saw that night. I just remember him because he put on such a damn good show. So but it's just like, it sucks when they like remix a song that you liked, because you're just like, no, why did you have to ruin it? Because I don't like you and I don't want you to mess up songs I like. Well, guys, we will drag Carlos, Yolanda, Barf Callis, Saldivar the 4th tomorrow on my backup channel in honor of her birthday. So Pitbull has a new song. It's sample from I Wanna Rock right now. It's called It Takes Three. I'll have to listen. I actually like Pitbull's music. My son used to love Pitbull's music when he was a baby. He used to love dancing around to it. Pitbull is somebody that's hella smart. You should go watch his Drink Champs interview, how he talked about how he flipped his like advance into like starting businesses. That was hell. Like the new people need to learn from him, especially all these new ones that are getting, like I said, hit the highs being mid and then fizzle out, because at least maybe you'll have some shit to still support yourself with after, you know, the music industry eats you up and spits you out. But he's hella freaking smart. Like, I really recommend watching that because you'll learn so much from him that, like, you never would have ever, like, expected. It made me have a really nice appreciation for him. Although knowing the way that they are on Drink Champs, they might have taken it down because they just want to push like degeneracy. I honestly, do you guys like watching Drink Champs? Like, I have to really, really, really be in the mood and really, 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 really like who they're interviewing, because Noriega's ignorant self interrupting and asking the absolute dumbest questions while somebody's still in the middle of answering the first question just is so frustrating for me. Because he'll be like, what inspired you to become an artist? And they're giving you this real big, deep answer. And then he'll be like, is blue your favorite color, or do you want to go to Colombia for vacation next year? And it's like, the fuck does that have to do with anything, Noriega? And that's the dumbest question in the entire world anyways. And they're like, how do you choose between going on vacation in Colombia or your favorite color being blue? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. And he just like keeps like, you know, doing stupid stuff like that. And he kept doing that to Kanye, like where he kept interrupting Kanye. And I was like, oh, he's getting scared because Kanye is saying some real shit. Because every time that Kanye was trying to explain himself, Nori was like, oh, here, take another shot. Here's another blunt. Here, oh, did you see when Kim wore those pants the other day? What'd you think about that? It was like, oh my God, can you let Kanye finish what he was saying? And then he took the whole damn thing down anyways. But it was like, don't worry, Kanye didn't even get to make the points he was trying to make because Noriega interrupted him every time anyways. Can't get over his big ass teeth at the top and the bottom row is not done. Dude, seriously, if you're gonna get your teeth done, get them done a normal size and do the top and the bottom, please. Because it becomes, you know, even more obvious when you got big ass, pure, like blinding white horse teeth on the top of your mouth. And then on the bottom, what is it that Tokyo Tony says Beyonce has chicken teeth? You got little yellow chicken teeth on the bottom, and then it's like the contrast like even highlights even more that you got messed up bottom teeth. Dude, I was cracking up that when she said that. Like, listen, Tokyo Tony hates me because she got mad because that reading I did and thought she was telling me off, and then she freaking erased it and blocked me before I could respond with mental health crisis numbers for her. But I have to say, she be funny as hell sometimes, and the chicken teeth like really like takes me out. anyways, let's see what's going on with Doja, because she's Doja-ing even more than normal. And I guess she's gonna be on Hot Ones. I'm just waiting for her to get to the like actual spicy wings, and then her demon starts talking in tongues. Because I'm not gonna watch it, but we all know that the clips will make their rounds on social media. So let's see what the cards have to say about her just in general first, and then we'll get into the questions. The older Beyonce gets, the more her teeth look smaller. Honestly, I don't even be looking at Beyonce that much anymore, because I'm also scared that her Sasha Fierce demon is going to try to get me through the picture. And I'm just like, nope, I don't want to mess with that. Solange's music is better than Beyonce's. Yeah. A Seat at the Table was a far better album than anything that I've heard from Miss Robot in years. Yeah. I mean, I don't really think Solange gives too much of a fuck about like having, you know, all the fame that her sister does. But I feel like, you know, and it must suck to kind of be in her shadow like that, because regardless, you know, even if you don't want to be as big and famous, it's like I still want people to know I exist, and I put out an album too, and everybody's talking about that they saw my sister at Target yesterday instead of what I just busted my ass for the last few years creating. So, you know, it's kind of got to be a little annoying at times. Well, this is the thing with Doja just in general. She's in such a fucking weird ass space, like not just, you know, within the industry or anything else, but like with her own self mentally, because Doja's been on a self-sabotage campaign where she doesn't like the fame, and she doesn't like what she's chosen to do, because, you know, she could have said fuck it, like I'm just gonna remain an underground type of artist and not sell my soul to Satan. But, you know, and I've done a deeper reading explaining like her like mindset, and it was fairly recently, and you guys can go back and watch that. But it's, you know, affecting this, because it's like on the one hand, like she's pissed because it's like, I've been doing all of this, you know, stuff demonically, and having the parties and doing the rituals and all the other crap that, you know, and playing the industry games on top of that. And I was expecting that I was gonna have, you know, maybe like the album of the year, and it would be well received and more people would be into it. But then there's the other side of her that's like, oh, well, I don't want it to be that big, because then more is going to be expected of me. And then I'm going to have to go and do all these media and press runs for this, and all this shit that I don't enjoy about being famous is going to be blown up to an even bigger level than what it was, you know. And so it's like, she's so back and forth about how she feels about this album and its reception, and the way that people are responding to her and the music. But then, you know, there's that part of her that kicks in and she wants to get online and tell everybody to go fuck themselves and never listen to her music again, and that she hates everybody, and like, you know, have another temper tantrum. So she's not sure like where she stands really and what she wants out of this. Because Spirit's saying it's literally one day she wakes up and it's like, oh, I want to get pregnant and have a baby, and then maybe that'll make the industry leave me alone, and I'll go move to Antarctica and nobody will ever see me again, and I'll just live in a little ice hut. And then, you know, the next day it's like, oh, you know what? I can't believe that people are saying that they don't want to listen to me anymore. How dare they? I spent all this time working on this. It's a work of art. You guys are just going to hate me forever regardless of what I do, and I should be getting more recognized for this. So the girl's a mess. The girl is a big mess. So what questions y'all got about this? Because it really is. It's like there's no real clear answer on how she feels, because it literally just depends on the minute, the day. It's like the way that Spirit's saying that people like constantly act like Kanye is, you know, always running around changing his mind and flip-flopping on things. And, you know, it's like Doja said, hold my beer and watch how it's really done, yay. I got this. And make sure if you have a question, you put question in the front of it so it doesn't get lost with all of the other comments. Well, that's the thing, Lynn. It's like, you can't get mad that you told people that you don't want them to support you and that you hate them and you drag them, only to then turn around and get mad when those same people stop fucking supporting you. Because it's an abusive relationship. That's just part, Marissa, that whole thing, that's a part of her self-sabotage and the stubbornness. You know, oh, you guys dragged me in the past for being in those chat rooms. Well, guess what? I'm gonna date somebody that's, you know, not a good person and has a bunch of allegations and things against them as a big middle finger to everybody. I'm gonna wear a Sam Hyde shirt as another middle finger to people. But you see that she deleted that picture, then reposted it with the shirt cropped out because somebody on her team said, reel it the fuck back, girl. So, you guys, this is the thing that Spirit's saying. Do not be surprised if that tour doesn't get canceled. Because I've been saying I feel like Doja's on the verge of having a breakdown. Her mental is not fun to tap into. You know, beyond all the evil shit that's around her, it's like her own energy is so like, I feel like I need some Prozac after reading on the girl. We can't talk about that over here, Lindsay. Oh, Doja definitely has participated in Payola. Listen, every single person, whether it's them themselves or their label, participates in Payola to a certain extent. Taylor Swift does. Beyonce does, but not so much for like the Billboard stuff of it, because she doesn't really give too much of a crap these days about being like on the Billboard charts. Hers is more because she wants to collect awards and, you know, stuff like that, where she feels like that kind of matters more. Because, you know, Beyonce wants to put on the whole air of, I don't care about the charts. It's the art and the music that matters, and me creating something that's gonna last forever rather than just trying to fit into a TikTok trend of the moment. So, you know, that's not as important to her overall image. But Drake, how do you think Drake in that mid-ass album got, you know, the top 20 spots? Even if everybody listens to the album once, you know, you're gonna skip through songs. It's not gonna count towards the streams that organically like that. They use bot farms. Nicki's probably one of the very few who doesn't. And I saw, you know, her biggest fan that's always in the mob world comments trying to say that she does. And it's like, if Nicki was really doing the Payola stuff, and again, you know, we'll talk about her like in Patreon, but I'm just saying, if she was doing that, wouldn't she have had a shit ton of fucking number ones by now? Come on. Like, no, you know, because people love to drag her that she hasn't had a bunch of that. So we're talking about Doja right now, you guys. We're not asking questions about anybody else. Just the Doja stuff. Listen, as far as but as far as the tour, like, I feel like Doja doesn't like touring. So, because if you guys didn't know, like, I mean, I'm not saying that she didn't, like, have a health issue. I'm just saying that anybody else that's ever had tonsillitis knows that you can take penicillin. You don't have to, the one time that you get tonsillitis, get your tonsils removed. Usually that's only recommended if you keep getting it over and over and over again, or they get so overly infected that it's like, okay, you're either going to have to be on IV antibiotics for 3 years straight, or like we have to remove them. That was an excuse for her to get out of that tour. Like, she's not very different than Carlos in that she doesn't actually really want to tour. But if she does go on the tour, trust and believe that she will be cussing people out on the stage and complaining about stuff and getting mad if people say that they felt like the show was too demonic or wasn't good or whatever. She's going to be out there freaking out on people all over again. So, and isn't Ice Spice opening for her on tour? I just feel bad for Ice because, or anybody else that ends up opening for her too, because I know, you know, usually people have like more than one opening act. Because, I mean, you know, number one, you're putting yourself right in the middle of all of Doja's satanic rituals that she's going to be doing on stage, but also, like, whatever she does is probably going to end up overshadowing them. And again, like I said, there's the possibility that she cancels the whole thing anyways. But Doja has a lot of self-hatred and other issues, and I think that being famous has only magnified those and made them worse. Mimi, that's a good question. I mean, for anybody that is in that situation, because there's a lot of people that complain about the fame, and it's like, you could have chosen another career and just, you know, performed music in your house amongst you and your friends for fun if you didn't want to have to navigate the industry, or you could have stayed, you know, an independent or more underground artist and not dealt with all of this stuff. But, and trust and believe, people get so confused thinking that like, oh, you need to get signed to a major label and have all of the industry to support to make money. Most independent people, if they got a good enough fan base, they're making more money than a lot of people that are signed. I guarantee you that Russ probably makes a hell of a lot more money than a lot of the people that you see in your face swinging chains around and driving Lamborghinis and claiming that they're rich. Because he has real fans that, you know, buy his stuff and really support him. And they don't wait for, you know, the blogs to repost him before they go listen to anything. Oh, Doechie's going on tour with them too, right? Doechie's such a good artist. Yep, Taylor and Drake be battling out to be at the top of the charts. And that's how you knew too that that shit was some payola, because Taylor was battling against Drake with a bunch of her old, and hold the questions, guys, because I'm just going to get through the rest of them and then we'll move on to Drake, because I can't be on here as long as I was last week because the transmission went out on my car. So I have to walk to the store and I got to make sure that I have enough time to walk there and get what I need and walk back and then put it away and then walk over to my kid's school to get him from the bus stop. So I was like, I'm gonna get real skinny. But you know, Drake was battling against Taylor's old re-recorded songs, Taylor's version number 127 versus Drake's house music album that was absolute trash and nobody listened to. And it was like, okay, you guys are definitely paying for this if you guys are really charting with all this stuff. And especially not just charting, but charting that high. Yeah, well, like I said, y'all have fun. If you choose to go to that tour, y'all have fun. Because it's not like Doechii or Ice Spice are never gonna perform anywhere else, you know, because even if you're like, well, I want to see them, they'll go on other tours, they'll have other performances. Like, you don't have to only just go right now because, you know, oh, they're both gonna be there with Doja. Is Doja a fan of Ice Spice and Doechii? I don't really feel like, I mean, I feel like it was more her team, the label, you know, that kind of thing. Like, it was more like the business aspect of it. And she just had, you know, they kind of came to her with a list of people and it was like, these are the people that we could have open for you. And rather than picking like Glorilla or somebody like that, you know, she wanted Doechii because she felt like Doechii made more sense. And I think that, I don't think she really cares either way, like, about Ice Spice. I don't feel like she hates anybody, you know, it's just that. Does she have longevity or is this the beginning of the end? Dude, that is 100% up to her. I mean, sad to say, because it's like she has the potential to have longevity because she is one of the few people that is being pushed on us and in our faces right now, like when it comes to hip hop and female acts that actually is talented beyond the attitude and the other stuff. Like, the girl is talented. Oh, there's just some weird noise outside. I was like, what's that? But I think it's the street cleaners. But, you know, it's up to her. If she keeps abusing her fans and she keeps flipping out and acting like a nut job, then Or if she decides to throw a temper tantrum and quit, then obviously it's the end. But it's really, you know, up to her at this point on how that's going to end up working out. Drake and Taylor would have made a great power couple, but that's two narcissistic egos. They would have been constantly clashing. Ugh. So let's move on to Drake, you know, since we're talking about that. This is the thing, though. Okay? Drake wouldn't do that because you want to know why. Look at how Drake is to girls after he's dealt with them. He's always misogynistic to the women that he has dated, even if it ends up being years later. He cannot get away with doing that to Taylor Swift. Nor could he really, probably, to be dead ass honest with you, you know, and we just got to call a spade here, really, truly do that to any white woman. And I don't think that Drake, you know, is only likes women of color. I think he purposely chooses them because he knows that, you know, if I want to throw shots at you later, people will let that slide. But I can't drag Taylor Swift and say that her box was trash in a song later on because the entire world will come after me and that will cancel me. So I'm not taking questions yet, 203. I will let you know when I'm taking questions. So, but Drake is a white woman, right? And Taylor, of all people, Taylor has made a career out of being a professional victim. And I think that honestly, Drake would be scared because, think about it, Taylor is like dragged or turned people against every single dude that she's ever dated. And I hope that that's in Travis Kelce's contract, that she can't do that to him when this inevitably ends. Because God knows what she would do to him, you know, when the time comes. So can you imagine like the songs that she would make about him and the tears that she would cry over Drake? I caught you texting girls in high school. I trusted you and you not only broke my trust, you broke the law. Like she would just make like the most boring ass songs exposing the hell out of him, and that would be Drake would finally get canceled. She's successful with it every time. Did y'all see that they said John Mayer was like sending her cease and desist letters and like threatening to sue her because she wouldn't stop like remaking that damn song about him? I was just like, girl, now the boyfriends are gonna all band together and make a class action lawsuit against you for writing songs about them all the time. So that would be funny though if all of Taylor's exes created a class action lawsuit against her for pain and suffering. But that would be hilarious though. I mean, watching like if her and Drake could both get away with it and did date each other and could like do that. Oh, the petty songs that would be flying back and forth. I mean, it would be entertaining to watch them fight, but they're too much alike. No, he really... Hey, Ange, I'm glad you made it. No, he really did. He sent her a cease and desist. I saw like it was a whole article. I'll have to find it and I'll post it on my community tab. There was a whole article like it was sometime in the last year when everybody started rehashing the was it Dear John song or something that she had written about him, and then I guess she had mentioned him somewhere. And they said that he was like fed up, and I guess he said this to a crowd somewhere that he was gonna sue her if she didn't stop talking about him, and that he was sending her legal letters. It was hella funny. I was like, oh my god, girl, leave him alone. So, oh, she definitely they all use glamorous spells. I mean, don't you ever notice that like some stan bases, well, pretty much every stan base, let's be honest, but especially the ones that are like really stanny, it's because the glamour spells worked on them. Because like even like you can tell like when you listen to their voices, or like if somebody is on a video, it's almost like their eyes get glazed over and they get this weird look on their face when they're talking about their Lord and Savior Selena Gomez or Taylor Swift or whoever, you know, K-pop or whatever it is that they're standing. And it's like, I hope somebody in your family goes to a witch doctor and gets that spell removed from you. Because it's scary. So Taylor just sticks to white guys. I thought you said white gays at first, Teddy. I gotta start wearing my glasses to read the comments because like I just keep reading everything wrong today. Taylor definitely has a powerful priestess. Well, she's a high witch herself too. Yeah. Even Carlos, her fans swear she's beautiful and had no surgery. They are truly hex down. Right? I saw some the other day trying to say that because she got money now, she has better makeup and hair, and that she's only gotten her body done. I was like, she publicly admitted that she got her nose done though. She may not have publicly admitted to all of the rest of the plastic surgery that she got, but she did admit to that. Like, and I'm sorry, but like, you can contour the hell out of somebody's face, but you can't permanently pull their eyes back with contour. Like, you can't change the entire shape of somebody's face with contour. Like, people are nuts. Didn't she date Joe Jonas? Yes. Well, let me just say something real quick and then we'll really get into the Drake stuff. I commented on, there's a page called Comments by Celebs. I didn't even know I was following them, but people show up in my feed all the time and I don't remember following them. But it was some video of the girl that plays Meredith Grey on Grey's Anatomy saying that she ordered like some Road Beauty stuff. I guess that's Hailey Bieber's brand for her kid. And that her kid got excited when she saw it in the mailbox. And she said she was thinking she was going to get cool mom points. And then her daughter was like, oh my God, you're on Hailey Bieber's PR list. And she said that she told her daughter, like, no, I paid for that. I'm not on the PR list. And she's like, then her kid didn't think she was cool anymore. And so I commented and I said, Taylor Swift named her cat after you. Doesn't that like give you lifetime cool points? Like, as in, like, I thought that that's something that, like, girls, like, you know, her daughter's age that are teenagers might think is cool, like, or whatever. Do you know that when the Hailey Bieber fans found that post and then like saw my comment, they started telling me like one of them went to my page and commented on all of my pictures that I need to shut the fuck up and grow up. I was like, I did not say anything against Hailey Bieber. I was just thinking, if you have a teenage daughter that likes Taylor Swift, a Taylor Swift named her cat after you, like, wouldn't that make your kid think you were cool? Like, had nothing against Hailey Bieber. I was just like, I don't care enough about Hailey Bieber to go comment on some random page that I didn't even know I was following to, like, diss the girl. Like, what the hell? Her fans were so mad. Like, they kept telling me off, and I was like, I don't even have the patience to explain myself. I just kept blocking them. Like, oh my God, like, I didn't say anything bad about anybody. I was just, okay, like, I'm trying to understand kids these days because I'm old and I don't get it. Like, my goodness. But it was just weird. I was like, that was triggering. Like, I didn't think I said anything wrong about anybody. I was defending Dr. Meredith Grey. So, oh, wow. He did not age well. No, he didn't. Didn't he, like, break up with her on a voicemail or something? I just remember somebody saying, you know, something about that on another video that I was watching recently. Well, that was the thing. It's like, I've defended her just like I've defended Selena. Like, I don't take sides. I'm on the side of whoever, you know, is the right person in any given situation. And good people can do bad things and bad people can do good things. Two things can exist at once, and people are not solely one-dimensional. So it's like, if Hailey does something shady, I'm going to say she was being shady. But if she didn't do anything to deserve, like, people dragging her, then I'm going to say she doesn't deserve that. Like, I don't have any hate towards her. She seems like a sweet girl. It was by a text. Oh my God, that's even worse. Comprehension is definitely in the damn toilet. For sure. Trust me, I deal with it every day. So, okay. I'm gonna take questions about Drake. But first, again, reminder, nothing about Nicki. We will discuss their relationship in Patreon on Saturday when we do our live over there. If you are not a part of it and you want to join, make sure you read through the tiers because there's different ones. There's ones for you to be able to request videos about celebrities. There's ones for you to be, you know, just have access to everything that's in there. And then there's the Barb's tier, which is just solely the Nicki content. So, and make sure you put question in front of your question so it doesn't get lost in the comments. Yep, Charlie, pretty much. Hey, no Porsche, I'm glad you were able to make it. Is he going through a midlife crisis? I think Drake has been going through an entire life identity crisis. I don't think that this is a midlife crisis. Because think about it. How many times have we seen Drake completely change his identity anyways? You know, he's been Puerto Rican and Dominican and Jamaican. He was Wheelchair Jimmy, and then he tries to act like he's like a part of the mafia. And it's just like, oh my God, Drake. Every freaking day is a new person. So So it's not a midlife crisis. It's just who he's been. He doesn't know who he himself is when it comes down to it. And he doesn't want to love himself and just be himself. Did Drake hook up with Sexy Red? Yes. But it was like a, you know, just wait until Surviving Drake comes out. Because there will be some stories. But yes, in the meantime, yes. Does Drake have a crush on Bad Bunny? Oh my God. And listen, he can sit there and say that Joe Budden is irrelevant all he wants. If he's irrelevant, then why are you writing entire freaking novels about him? And then getting other people to then jump in. Like, if somebody's irrelevant, when you just ignore them because it's like, what does it matter? Or if they're so irrelevant, how did you even know that they were talking about you? I mean, that's the other thing. It's like he's acting like, oh, nobody listens to Joe Budden. Well, somebody listened to him if you heard what he was saying about you, right? Like, he's out here acting like Carlos over the, you know, whole situation. Listen, let's just hope that he didn't have to give Sexy the spit start this time around. Drake Almanzar, we could call him Aubrey Saldivar. The reason why I always say Saldivar, if you guys don't know, is her last name, is because she reminds me of Yolanda Saldivar, the lady who killed the Mexican singer Selena. So that's who she reminds me of. Plus, when she's running around trying to cosplay as an Afro-Latina, I also like to remind people that her grandma looks like Yolanda Saldivar. And if you don't think that Yolanda Saldivar is an Afro-Latina, then I don't know why you think that Carlos is. I can go become a citizen in Korea and then decide to move to France. That doesn't make me Korean when I move to France, does it? So the same way that, you know, just because you are a Dominican who lived in Trinidad and was cleaning hotels there does not mean that you are actually a Trinidadian your own self. Well, that's why I said last week I challenged her to a DNA test. Let me plug in my laptop real quick. I thought I had it on the charger. Because, you know, we can go toe to toe and see who has how much African ancestry in them. And then when I beat her, I would like her to have to explain to everybody why it's okay for her to say certain things that she says when she's not black. So hold the questions for a bit, guys, and let me get through the ones that are already up. Because I have to get off of here in about 30 minutes. Okay, here's the thing, and this kind of answers not only for Bad Bunny, but like all of the men that people think that Drake has crushes on. You know how we would say, oh, that person's my girl crush? Like, there's things, it doesn't mean I want to go scissor her. You know, it means that I admire her and there's things about her that, you know, she has certain qualities about herself that I would like to have, you know, myself. And she's somebody I look up to and want to be like. Like a lot of the people that people think like, oh, like, you know, Drake might have like an actual like romantic crush on. It's more like that's my man crush. Like I want to be like him because he's comfortable with himself. He's talented. People like him. He doesn't have to, you know, go pretend to be 100 million things that he isn't. So that's like, I don't feel like there's like a romantic love when it comes to Bad Bunny. You know, it's more like there's things about him that I admire and I want to be like that because he is comfortable in his own skin. And, you know, and it's also too, I think like, especially when it comes to some of the people like, you know, for instance, a Bad Bunny himself, because he's at this precipice where he's starting to blow up. And it's like to Drake, those were the good times in his life when he was first blowing up. So it's like that romanticizing of the nostalgia of it too. This is not to say that Drake has never liked any man romantically. It's just that's how he feels about a lot of the people, and Bad Bunny is one of those. As let's see, what is the reason behind him going on a hiatus? Because he thinks that this is gonna make people be so excited for his comeback. Because I guarantee you, when he comes back, he's going to have an album, a documentary, another tour. It's like, yeah, sometimes I get stomach aches because I'm lactose intolerant, but I'm going to just blow this out of proportion. So people worry about me, pay attention to me, miss me while I'm gone. And then when I come back, it's the great comeback, and everybody's so excited to see me and hear from me again. It's just taking advantage. It's PR spin stuff. So he really doesn't know himself. You're right, Brie. Why did he build a statue of 21 Savage head on his gate? Is it because he is in love with him or something ritual? It's something ritual. I'm not going to get into details on it over here, but it's demonically tied. Is he clapping yachty cheeks? I know he is, though. Oh my God. Drake, Miley, and Demi are shapeshifters at this point. Listen, Miley and Demi, though, they can sing. We'll give them that. I mean, Demi Lovato, sometimes I'd be like, girl, what are you doing? But I kind of have a soft spot for her in my heart too, even though I do call her Themi Gelato a lot. Let me see. Does his issues with self-identity come from his parents? You know what's crazy is Spirit's saying not really. Like, he has a little bit because of his dad, because, you know, his dad wasn't really like a super big part of his life until he really started blowing up as a rapper, and then his dad wanted to come around. And so Spirit's saying, you know, there's a little bit of that where it's like, my dad didn't value me or having like a relationship with me or really trying to be a part of my life until like I, you know, got to this level of my career. And instead of realizing that, like, even if you would stayed in the acting thing, like your dad would, you know, and say you like had a Will Smith type blockbuster movie, that's when your dad would have showed up in your life. Like your dad was always going to show back up when you hit a certain level of success because he wanted to benefit off of it. Not, it didn't really wasn't tied into you being a rapper, but he kind of thinks that way. But Spirit's saying a lot of his like identity stuff is because people did see him as wheelchair Jimmy, and he felt like, you know, everybody that was at the level that he wanted to be at within the music industry, and specifically with, you know, rap, like, oh, they all came from, you know, the hood or were some types of, you know, gangsters or came from a family like that. So it's like he felt like he had to go like try to be hard in order to be taken seriously within not only the industry itself, but also, you know, amongst fans. And so I think that it was trying to find something outside of himself for people to connect to, because he didn't feel like just being Drake is likable enough. But, you know, like I said, some of it's his dad, but some of it's just because he didn't understand that he could have just been himself. I mean, you know, this is the thing where I always say, like, this is something I love about Kanye. Think about it, when Kanye was really like popping off, like when he first blew up, he was wearing polo shirts. He was the first guy that was like really super into like the fashion stuff. Kanye never pretended to have sold drugs or been a gangbanger or any of that kind of stuff, even though, you know, he probably could have gotten away with it to a certain extent, seeing as that he's from Chicago and he grew up there and he's very aware of like the street life, because even though his mom tried to protect him from it, like he still obviously like was around it to an extent. But Kanye was always unapologetically just like, this is who I am and this is what type of time I'm on, and I don't gotta like go back and pretend like I'm some kind of a gangsta to like get people to listen to my music or accept me. And if Drake had just like done the work on himself, he could have done the exact same thing. But he wanted to go and try to, you know, be a gangsta so that he could fit in. And now it's like he's constantly trying to find new identities to fit in because he doesn't know who he is. Why is he allowing Lil Yachty to have so much creative control in the direction of his most recent albums? Oh, Yachty produced half of For the Dogs and Her Loss. I was like, wait, I didn't know Yachty was like directing his career, because like I said, I don't really listen to Drake, but Spirit said he thinks that Yachty has like a pulse on what's current and what's cool and what the kids want. And so it's like, oh, well, he's so in touch with this generation. And he wants to market himself to a younger audience because, you know, people in my age group, which is, you know, Drake's age group, we grow out of stuff and we kind of like move on from things, and we're not buying albums and streaming the same way that younger people are. So it's like I wanted to get in front of that TikTok crowd and expand my audience and, you know, capture the youth. And so he thinks that Yachty is the way to do it. Of course, it makes me Korean. Just ask Hillary Baldwin. Hillary from Boston? With the fake Spanish accent? Oh my God. That's the thing too. Like, I remember like when nobody really knew like that she wasn't Spanish, but like I would always be like, her accent doesn't sound like people from Spain. It was just weird. Like, I always thought her accent was really weird, and I was like, she doesn't sound like a native Spanish person. But and then they exposed her, and I was like, oh, that's why, because she was faking it anyways. That would be somebody that would be good for Drake to date. Hillary from Boston, Alex Baldwin's wife. He can tell her how to say cucumber in English. Although I don't know if he wants to take care of all them kids. Don't they have like 9 kids or something? Like every time I turn around, she's having another baby. He wish he was Bad Bunny. He's not an ugly dude at all. No, Bad Bunny's attractive. Drake likes athletes. Well, yeah, I think Drake's men crush are more like the athletic guys. Because look at how he's trying to push Adonis to be a basketball player. Why is he so sassy? Oh my God. This feels like a therapy session for him. He has daddy and identity issues. He was the uncool lame who liked the popular black kids, and they would only come over to Aubrey's house because he had all the new games and his mom ordered pizza. That was probably his life growing up. Oh, I know. I loved Alexis with Kanye. But that's what I've always loved about Kanye. He's always authentically himself. And when people say oh, he changes all the time, he honestly really doesn't. But his ideas, his music, and his style evolves. And that's what a true artist does. And you don't have to become an entirely different person and take on an entirely new persona to do that. It just means, oh, I used to like wearing bright colors and now I like wearing neutrals. I used to like making this kind of music and now I like to make Jesus music. Like, doesn't mean that you're, switching personalities though. It's just this is the kind of stuff I have now found myself into. And Drake doesn't grasp the difference. You can still be who you are and evolve and like new things. Like, that's the beauty of being a human being. We can change our minds and the things that we like to do at any given moment. Oh, Talia, I'm sorry. That's the thing. I'm like, I don't know what the hell YouTube always be doing, because I subscribed and turned on my notifications to a bunch of people and I never get notified when they upload anything or go live either. And I'm constantly finding myself being unsubscribed from people that I watch all the time. So, I know. I just love Kanye's music and everything about him. I don't agree with everything that Kanye does, but I have so much appreciation for him because he stands on who he is. And he's, just always been about like accepting yourself. I know. That's why it's like, sometimes I sign into YouTube Studio and it'll say that I lost 10 subscribers and then the next day I'm up 20 subscribers and I'm like, YouTube, what's going on? So, that was a time, man. That was a time. But when Drake was coming up, he rapped like Budden. His earlier mixtapes are proof, only to go on to beef with your actual idol. Joe Budden actually was like a good rapper and he had some bars. It's just that, you know, unfortunately, Pump It Up was the song that blew up, and then people tried to put him in that box and, you know, just be like, oh, that one poppy song that you did, you know, was the entirety of your career. And it's like, that was the most like dumbed down Joe Budden song. Like, if you actually go listen to his music, it all sounds very different from that. And you're like, oh, like, no, Joey can spit. And guess what, too? Joey is a damn beast. And have you ever seen that video where he chased them kids down the street that were driving and he caught up to their car? And they were scared as fuck because they were messing around at his house. Joe will chase a car down the street barefoot and catch it and scare the shit out of you. Like, that's Joey did not play back in the day. So I would love to see Drake actually get in the ring with Joe Budden because I feel like Joe would fuck him up. That would actually be entertaining. I mean, and that's the thing too, like when these people like go back and forth with each other, it's like, why don't y'all, instead of like writing a bunch of books back and forth to each other, why don't you call Dana White or who's ever in charge of like setting up all of these like pay for per views boxing events? Have a celebrity boxing event. You know how much money like y'all would both make off of that? People would watch it. I would pay to watch Joe Budden and Drake like fight in a ring, wouldn't you? Because I would definitely do it. I mean, come on. So it's like, take it there. Like, instead of just arguing back and forth on the internet for free. If you're not going to put it on wax because Joe doesn't rap anymore, then fight it out. Oh my gosh. Hey, Carson. It's okay, babe. I mean, that's what we got the replay option for, right? So, well, and that's the thing though. Like, all of these albums that Drake's been putting out seem so like just rushed and put together, and it's like, what is this? Because it's the kind of stuff that you would expect, like, you know, like when people are obviously like coming up, not everybody's first album is gonna be a Pink Friday smash success. There's a lot of people that like we think of as like, wow, they're really popular and they've maintained this legacy, but like it wasn't until the second, third, even maybe fourth album for some people where they hit their stride and put out an album that people really are like, that's a classic, you know, album full of hits that you really want to listen to. Oh, and same thing goes for a lot of bands, you know, and this isn't even about just only the hip hop genre. I mean, it's across all genres. Drake's last albums have sounded like those people's like first albums, where like you're figuring out your sound, you're finding your place, you're hitting your stride, but it's all kind of a little experimental and questionable up until that point. So, and it's just like, yeah, take that break, find better writers, find better producers, find new material. Stop dragging your exes. I mean, what was the point in him throwing shots at Serena Williams' husband? Alexis don't do nothing except love his wife and his daughter and mind his freaking business and make even more money in the tech world. Like, he just be over there like he's not a problematic person. It's like, why are you attacking him? What did he do to you? Certified Lover Boy is when I knew he musically lost it, and I didn't even bother to listen to this new one and don't plan on it. I mean, we don't really care about, oh, Megamind. I thought you were talking about Mucus for a second. I was like, we don't care about her. But no, Megamind, yeah. I'm going to wrap that up with asking about that, and then we're going to head out because I got to walk to the store. I never really, like, of all the Young Money artists, Drake was my least favorite. So let's see. Spirit, how does Drake truly feel about Rihanna? Thank you. Oh, and just a reminder, because I was talking about this in Patreon the other day, and I thought, like, everybody knew this. So when Sophie was first pregnant, there was a couple possible fathers because she was a girlfriend for hire, if y'all didn't know. Allegedly, let's cover our butt over here. She was allegedly a girl for hire, and she was, you know, always hanging out with all of these rappers and different musical people in Europe. And one of the possible daddies was A$AP Rocky. Did y'all know that throughout her whole entire pregnancy, A$AP Rocky was stepping up to the plate, and he knew the entire time, you know, 50-50 it's mine, 50-50 it's not, but if it turns out to be mine, I don't want my kid to say that I wasn't around. He was taking her to doctor's appointments. He was sending her money. He was making sure that he was there every step of the way just in case. And obviously, when they got the DNA test, it turned out it wasn't his, and it ended up being Drake's. Now, isn't that funny? that Drake goes on, you know, to do whatever he's doing, and now, and we all know that, you know, he was obsessed with Riri. And here we go. Who's Riri's baby daddy now? A$AP Rocky. I bet you that Sophie was probably praying to God that it was A$AP's kid and not Drake's. Because, you know, he was trying to deny it the whole time and being an asshole to her and everything. So it's like, of course, as a woman, you're going to be like, please, God, let it be the guy that's actually, like, stepping up to the plate and doing what's right and being nice to me through this whole process as a kid. I don't want it to be that jackass. Exactly. That's why I was just like, the universe be hella funny sometimes, the way that it be playing its tricks. And if y'all had to pick between the two as your baby daddy, who would you pick? A$AP or Drake? And why? Because I know, you know, a lot of people don't like A$AP either. I would choose A$AP because, again, you know, like the whole he's going to be there, but also just he's so pretty. Not that, do not get me wrong. I think Adonis is like the cutest little boy in the world. But A$AP's just so fucking pretty that it's like, okay, you know you're going to have pretty babies guaranteed if you had a kid with him. You don't get to choose to abort Mimi. You have to pick one. And Lindsay, you can raise the baby by yourself, but which one donated the sperm for the baby to get there? Y'all don't, there's no choose C, D. It's you two options. Aubrey or A$AP. Y'all be trying to cheat in the game. It don't work that way. Who's a Cancer moon, prob? You can't abort. You have to pick one. You have to pick one and you have to co-parent with them, okay? No cheating at the game. Anyone seems like a better partner than Flake. Well, yeah. I mean, and on the other end too, this is also why I would choose ASAP. Does anybody know who his parents are? No. Drake's daddy comes out and he acts like he's the male version of Tokyo Tony, that he's always got to insert himself in some shit that nobody asked him to be involved in. So I would choose ASAP just for the fact that his parents aren't always making dumbass comments and getting involved in shit on the internet also. Because Drake's dad seems like he's annoying as hell to have to deal with. And we ain't doing all that. Like, I want the grandparents that are gonna, like, be quiet and stay off the internet, but, like, actually, like, want to babysit on the weekends. His dad is such a clout chaser. Oh, Abrisha's a Cancer moon? Well, that's that. See? Yeah. I mean, okay. This is what Spirit and the cards are saying as far as his feelings, you know, towards Rihanna. He definitely thought that this was going to be his little happily ever after fairy tale and that they were going to be like, you know, one of those power couples of the industry together, the same way that like Beyonce and Jay-Z are, you know. And obviously that did not work out. And Spirit saying he has never completely like gotten over that situation. Like any woman, just in general, I mean, this is why he has the problem with Serena too. Any woman that it's like, oh, I chased after you, I got you to give in and date me, and then you decide that you don't want to be with my ass anymore, justified or not, because Drake also cheats on everybody and lies and, you know, acts like a fuck boy. So they've all had a bazillion reasons to leave. And instead of him looking at it like, yeah, I fucked up and like, I just gotta like, you know, chuck it up to the game and like stop being a fuck boy if I want shit to work out in the future. It's like, I can't handle rejection, so I never get over it. It triggers little Aubrey deep down inside who doesn't feel like he's good enough, and I can't help myself. Like, I'm constantly rehashing it and flipping out again. And he also thinks like it's funny, it's attention seeking. Oh, look, everybody's gonna talk about this song if I talk about my ex. But again, it's like you're the rap version of Taylor Swift. You know, Taylor Swift is still fucking singing songs and crying about guys that she broke up with 20 years ago, and she's supposed to be in her 30s now. Drake is the same way. It's like, how long ago did you break up with these girls? It's been a good hot minute at this point. Like, you don't need to still keep going after them. But deep down inside, he is a real misogynist because he hates women because they were always rejecting him and picking the guys that he wants to be like. Like, oh, y'all didn't want me. You thought I was corny and soft. You wanted the dudes like Future and the banger is and the tough guys. And so I tried to be that, and y'all still don't stick around and really want me. So I lash out. It's all coming from a place of insecurity and rejection. So I'm not taking any more questions, Preston, because I have to get off of here, but I literally was just answering that anyways. But there is no end in sight to him dragging women. And if he doesn't stop, that's what's going to ultimately be the nail in the coffin for people to really like start 100% calling him out on this shit. Because we've seen it a little bit here and there, but let him try it again on another album or something, and then people are really going to be like, oh my God, Drake, leave her alone. Like, what the fuck? Why do you have to keep talking about her? Y'all haven't been together in 10 years at this point. Like, drop it. And I do think that he's going to say some shit that just goes way too far for people where they're really going to have a problem with it. So, and he's, of course, pissed and jealous because it's like, oh, you know, you couldn't forgive the fact that I went and had a baby with somebody else, but now you went and had a baby with somebody else, and he's pissed because it's like, well, I was supposed to be the guy you were having babies with. Why would you pick him? Because he doesn't think that A$AP Rocky is like good enough for Rihanna. Like, I'm better than him. Like, how dare you? I have more money than him. I'm more successful than him. And it's like, yeah, but he's living a happier life than you, moron. So who really won? Like, you can have all the money in the world. If you, every time you look in the mirror, hate yourself, did you really win? It's so unattractive and pathetic. It is. It's just like, oh my God, grow up. Exactly, Mimi. Listen, most men that don't like women and are misogynistic to them, it's because either they felt like their mommy didn't love them enough, or, oh, well, these bitches always wanted guys that had this or that. And so then instead of it being like, let me just go find my tribe, they take it out on all women. And again, the thing is, it's like, Drake, they did give you a chance. You were a horrible partner to them. Who's Sophie? Oh, Sophie. Yeah. Oh, and y'all, he still fucks the baby mama. So, I know, I honestly hope Rihanna just pays him dust, or I hope that she posts another happy family picture. Or if her and A$AP did secretly get married, maybe she can like post pictures of their wedding or something. Like, I would do one of those things. Either I'm gonna post pictures of me and my man happy, enjoying our lives together, or I'm gonna just not address you at all. But I ain't gonna say anything because, you know, Rihanna's successful. She's got her man. She's happy. She's got 2 beautiful kids. Like, she's not thinking about you, Drake. Well, yeah, Lindsay. Drake has mommy issues too. I'm sure he didn't get the emotional support from his mom because he was biracial and probably reminded her of his dad. I don't feel like his mom was like mean or neglectful towards him, but I think, you know, that's why you know, again, like I always keep it real. I've always said, like, if I was in a position to go adopt and foster, I wouldn't adopt or foster a black child because, unless I had a black husband, because there's so much that that child is going to go through in life that I just would never feel like I'm going to be able to, as a non-black person, prepare them for. And I would feel like that's doing that child like a disservice, because it's like there's so much that ties into the experiences that they're going to have in life because of their skin color, that they need to have somebody that looks like them to be able to help them navigate and prepare for, and be able to understand if, God forbid, they go through something and come home and it's like, yeah, I can cry with you, but like I still will never 100% be able to understand that, because the world will never treat me that way. So, and I, you know, like I feel like that with my own son sometimes, because it's like, I don't know how to teach you how to be a man. I can tell you as a woman the things I would like for you to know so that you can be a better man for women. But I can't inherently teach you like how to be a man. Your dad has to do that. And that's why, you know, I'm always tell him, like, as much as his dad can be a disappointment in a lot of things, like, you know, it's also important that his dad is still there, because you got questions about your testicles? I don't know that stuff. Like, there's been plenty of things that I had to call my guy friends, like even when I was potty training him, and be like, I don't know, like, how to explain this to him, or what's the best way to like teach him how to go. Like, it's just, it's, but we have to be honest about stuff like that. And that's why we say, like, the Kardashians do such a disservice to their kids, because Kanye has repeatedly said, you know, that everything has to be the Kardashian clan's way, and that they never really were like, oh, let's let the kids spend time in Chicago with Kanye's family, or let's even like have Kanye's family around more so that they can get to know that side of the family. So they're completely, you know, disconnected from their black parents and their black side of the family, and they're not getting to experience those traditions and really being exposed to that side of things and the culture that comes with it. And they're going to grow up and hate their family for that, or hold resentment against them, because it's going to be like, there's a whole side of me that I was never really truly allowed to get to know. And they're so ignorant on top of everything else, the Kardashians, I'm saying, that it's like, oh my God, like, at least try to educate yourself if you're going to raise black children. I mean, Kylie's walking around with fucking handcuffs and noose necklaces, and it's like, that alone, like, it doesn't matter if it's fucking fashion accessory. Like, you have black children, you should automatically know that that's not okay as the mother of those children, but you are so ignorant and you don't feel the need to educate yourself. And their dads can obviously only be there so much. So, you know, I'm not saying that people shouldn't have biracial or interracial relationships. I'm just saying that you have to educate yourself, but you also have to understand that as much as you educate yourself, there's gonna be things and experiences that you just will not be able to help your child fully with. And that's why you need to make sure that they have other people that look like them around that can help them navigate when those things happen. So he didn't get that, or we would see him try to be everything else. Yeah. Yep, you have to be prepared. I mean, when I got married, my ex-husband was Middle Eastern. My grandpa told me, like, you know, don't marry that man if you're not going to make a real fucking effort to, like, understand his culture. Because if you guys have kids, you know, or how are you going to support him? And he's like, people are going to be racist to him. Are you going to be able to sit there and put your anger and your feelings to the side to be there for him when incidents like that happen? And he was just like, if you can't do any of that, you shouldn't marry him. You know, and my grandpa was like saying, like, don't marry him because he's different. He was just like, you have to be prepared for what it's going to take to be a part of that. And especially because I got married in 2002. So this was right after September 11th when people were being horrendous to, you know, Middle Eastern people, and even poor Indian people were always getting caught up in it because they just assume, like, well, if you're Indian, you're Middle Eastern. No, you're Asian. God, please. People, look at a damn map. So, you know, it's just like you have to be realistic about life because there is a lot that comes to stuff like that. And, you know, when you're dating somebody that is from a different ethnic or racial background from you, it's more than just, you know, the little things that normal relationships have. There's a whole other responsibility and level that comes with it, whether you have children or not. And if you do have children, it's even more responsibility. Well, exactly, Tamara. But that's why I say, like, you know, I wouldn't be able to do that for a black child. So, you know, it's like I love all of the black children that I get to be a part of their lives, just like any other child. I love kids, don't get me wrong. But I would always be like, oh my God, I'm failing you because there's so much that I can't provide for you. And they deserve better. Everybody deserves to have people around them that can identify with them and help them and support and love them. So, anyways, guys, I have to wrap it up, but we will be on my backup channel tomorrow. I will post the links to that on my community tab. We're gonna celebrate Carlos's birthday, so make sure you guys are subscribed because it will be a subscribers only. All my lives are subscribers only because otherwise the bots and the spam comes in. And I will also be doing it through StreamYard, so you guys can call in and wish her a happy birthday to yourself. And then we'll be back to our regularly normal scheduled lives on Thursday. And then in Saturday in Patreon, we will be doing our Nikki live. So Friday I will probably not be around because it's my birthday. So I won't really be like celebrating, but I'm going to try to like relax because my car completely died on me. So it's been a little bit of a stressful month so far. So I'm like, I just need one day to just chill, and it's got to be my birthday, I guess. So I will see you guys tomorrow morning. I love all of you. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys hit the like button on the way out. If you want to subscribe in the meantime to the second channel, it is on the pinned comment here in the chat. And if you want to join us on Patreon, it is patreon.com/psychicbellalove. And you can also book your own reading with me, psychicbellalove.com. And you can use my name, Bella, at checkout and get 45% off any appointment. All right, guys, have a good one. And let's all pray that I don't trip and fall today because I have to walk to the store. And when I went to get cat food the other day, we have the worst sidewalks here. And I was carrying a big old case of cat food and I tripped and I hit my knee and busted it. So I got a big old bruise on my leg now and I'd be limping a little bit, but it's all right. We'll get through it.